Welcome back. Thanks for listening to The Real Story. Really appreciate you tuning in. It's always great to know that the listeners are out there. And by the way, I know that our auditable listenership has more than doubled over the last year. So hopefully you're sharing this with other people and they're getting more informed, and we're going to make progress here to get better government in place. That's actually the goal. Connect the dots, hold government accountable. And when it comes to holding government accountable, there's nobody better than the Watchdogs. And so here with me tonight is John Kraft. And Kirk Allen is off tonight. He had something to do. And but John joins us. And John, before we get to some of your stories that you have, and I love it that you're back at it with Milton Township, my own township. I am glad that you are staying on them. But I did want to mention this because I just find it so appalling, and it's sort of right up your alley. It just tells you that there is no justice in the state of Illinois. You can, if you're an elected official, man, you're just going to get off. You're absolutely going to get off. And this comes from CWB Chicago. Retired judge gets probation for stealing nearly $250,000 from an elderly Tuskegee Airman. CWB Chicago writes, a former Cook County judge who stole large sums of money from an elderly friend who served as a Tuskegee Airman received a probationary sentence on Friday. Patricia Martin, 66, received 4 years of probation after pleading guilty to theft of $100,000 to $500,000, according to court records. The judge also ordered her to pay $122,763.73 in restitution and comply with standard probation conditions that include random drug testing. Martin once served as presiding judge of the Child Protection Division and retired in 2020. Prosecutors initially accused her of stealing nearly $250,000 from then 95-year-old Oscar Wilkerson, a longtime friend whose finances she controlled under power of attorney. Using that authority, Martin closed some of Wilkerson's bank accounts and withdrew more than $115,000. Officials said she used the money to buy crypto. Investigators said she continued making unauthorized transactions for crypto purchases and personal expenses through 2021 and most of 2022. The thefts were uncovered after a senior living facility terminated Wilkerson's residency because of unpaid bills. An attorney was brought in to examine his finances and filed a lawsuit against Martin in 2022. She failed to respond, resulting in a default judgment of about $1.1 million, according to court filings. Because Martin previously served as a Cook County judge, her case was assigned to a McHenry County judge, Tiffany Davis. Wilkerson died, so the gentleman died in 2023, the Tuskegee Airman. One day before his 97th birthday, Martin was disbarred the same year. My question is she still getting her judge pension?
I would say she is, because it doesn't appear that it happened while she was a judge.
I know, but it just pisses me off.
I know.
She's a piece of crap.
That's the way it works.
How do you do that to somebody?
I can't understand that.
What the hell? She's a judge. She was a judge. Disbarment is not enough. It's not enough. No. I mean, I'm like, these are the people that if you ever been to the Medieval Torture Museum it's in Germany, and oh my gosh, it's escaping my name now.
Actually, I think I did go to
Rotenburg. I mean, this is the type of people that you do want in some sort of, public square, I don't know, torture set. Not complete torture.
I agree.
Just with her head and her arms in a stockade. This is ridiculous.
Somebody that had that position should be bankrupted.
Absolutely. And what is this? She had a default judgment of $1.1 million, but only has to pay restitution of $122,000. What happened there?
Well, she probably appealed the default judgment and claiming she didn't know or something, or I don't know. They all have tricks up their sleeve.
This is so sleazy. It's so bad. Anyway. So, I mean, I can't, I mean, probably me and a few readers of CWB Chicago are even concerned about this, but it should be headline news.
I know it should be.
Mm-hmm. Yep. This is who's in charge. These are the people who are put in charge. She does this. She's 66 years old. So she's probably like, 60 when this all happened. I mean, okay. Yeah.
Happens all the time.
Well, I'm disgusted by it. Absolutely appalled. I mean, but of course, you know what? That's how I feel about every time I talk to you. I'm just appalled at the stories that we hear. Well, John, what do you got for us tonight? What do you want to talk about? I certainly want to hear the story about Milton Township, but you pick and choose which stories you want to highlight.
Well, we can talk about, and I didn't give this one to you, but when you mentioned the public official doing something, and the former chief of police in Dolton pled guilty to bankruptcy fraud. His sentencing is in April.
Oh,
this was 3+ weeks ago that he did that. He pled guilty. He's still listed on the police database search as being certified to be a police officer. A disqualification is pleading guilty or being found guilty to any felony. And the police officer has a responsibility to notify the state police board. And if they fail to notify the state police board that they are guilty of a felony, then they can be charged with a felony for not notifying the state police board. So I'm wondering when they're going to get off their behind and seek prosecution on that issue.
Who knows?
Other than never.
Yeah, right. No, he'll probably just be moved around the system or allowed to go to another state and pretend that he's qualified to be put in charge of something as serious as, arresting citizens.
Yeah, he'll probably be on the state parole board or something, getting paid $95,000 a year for that.
Speaking of police stuff, do you remember Hanover Park? They had the situation where one of their policemen was taken away by ICE for apparently a visa problem, right?
And he's back with a badge.
He's back with a badge. That's right. He's back with a badge. Chicago Suburbs Police Department is under fire after it announced a Montenegrin immigrant serving on the force that had been arrested by ICE for a visa overstay will continue on the job. Officials in Hanover Park, which straddles DuPage and Cook, defended Officer Bochovic, saying in a statement to CBS News that he had been hired in full compliance with the law and had proper federal work authorization. And of course, you don't have to be a citizen in order to be able to arrest citizens in the state of Illinois because the Democrats passed that law.
Yeah, that's right.
I cannot imagine being arrested by somebody who's not a citizen as a citizen.
If you used to research who initially thought of making that law, it's probably somebody from Hanover Park or somebody that represented them.
Nah, I don't think so. I know those people pretty well.
You don't think they had a name in mind that they already had hired or wanted to hire and then pass the law?
No, because this came from Barbara Hernandez, who's this Aurora progressive Hispanic woman. And there's no way that it came from them, because I know their mayor. He's actually a good guy. I imagine they're between a rock and a hard place. They probably had to take him back if the feds couldn't actually deport him, which it doesn't sound like they could, because otherwise he would have been deported under Trump, you would think. And so they probably had no choice but to take him back, because the law says you don't have to be a citizen to be hired, and they had already hired him, which I don't understand why they hired him.
Well, me either.
Oh, because he had a work authorization, because he had a standard driver's license and then a work authorization. This is exactly how it happens with the CDLs.
Could you imagine going to another company and being on another company's police department and arresting their citizens? No, I couldn't imagine it.
No. But anyway. Hey, you know what, John? We're already at the point where we kind of need to take a break, and then we'll come back and you can pick out whatever your favorite story is tonight. We'll go over it.
We'll pick out Milton.
All right. Okay, we'll be right back, and we'll get an update on what's happening at the Milton Township Food Pantry, who is violating FOIA.
You're listening to The Real Story with your host, Jeanne Ives.
Welcome back. Let's just get right to it. We have John Kraft, Edgar County Watchdog, on with me. And John, you have an update for us on this very convoluted issue with these food pantries that are run by townships that call themselves nonprofits and then say that they are exempt from all sorts of requirements like Open Meetings Act and Freedom of Information Act requests from citizens, even though citizens are funding them. It makes absolutely no sense. There obviously needs to be a law passed specific to them because they are all doing this, and it's a big problem. What's the update with the Milton Township one?
Well, as we mentioned a month or two ago, Milton Township has a food pantry. The food pantry uses the township personnel, township equipment, township vehicles, township funds, township telephone, website, internet services, vehicle insurance, fuel, and payroll.
It'd be easier if you listed what they don't use that's township owned.
And township officials on the board of the food pantry. But the township says they're not a public body. They're not a subsidiary body of the township, and they have never been conferred as the official food provider, charitable food provider of the township.
Nobody believes that. Nobody actually believes that.
Oh, I know. And you know, they're using the township even, and I sent you a photo of the vehicles. Mm-hmm. It's a municipal plated vehicle with Milton Township logo on it and Milton Township Food Pantry in great big letters all over it. If that isn't conferring their official status as the official charitable food provider in the township, I don't know, especially when, if you want to talk to them, you call the township. If you want to visit them, you go to the township. If they deliver something, they deliver it in township vehicles. I mean, you name it.
I've been there. I've dropped off food from food drives that I've actually sponsored to Milton Township, and you go straight to the township office, and that's where you drop the food. So this is on its face stupid. It's not, I mean, this is the fact that you have to spend any time at all fighting them for information. What is the information that you are looking for from the township food pantry?
Expenses, credit card reports, payroll, which obviously they have none since they're using township personnel. They may be paying the director. I don't know, but it's just little things like that should have been made available.
Well, I mean, this is important information for people to know, too, because you want to know how much they're paying for all of those related expenses to giving food away to people versus the value of the food that they are giving away, because in many cases, this stuff is upside down. They'll be spending more on just the administrative aspect than they are in spending on the food that they actually give to people in need.
And all of the stuff they're using is public funds,
right? Property
or credit, and the public has the right to know how they're spent.
Absolutely, we
period.
Do.
And on top of that,
but if they were good actors, John, if these were good public servants, they would give you the information without you having to go to the Public Access Council at the Attorney General's office.
I went to the Secretary of State, too. Did you read that email?
I did. I guess I got it wrong. I thought you went to the Attorney General's.
I did.
Oh, you did too. Okay.
That was the part with the Attorney General Public Access Counselor.
Okay.
Now, the deal with the vehicles and the license plates, the Illinois Vehicle Code says that that permanent registration plates shall be issued to vehicles operated by or for any county, township, or municipal corporation. They're claiming it to the AG that it's a private corporation the food pantry. It's not a governmental function. And the township is not operating those vehicles. It's the food pantry that's doing that. So how can they claim one thing to the Attorney General's office and then use government vehicles and government license plates?
Because these are stupid people. That's how they claim
they're
this,
not,
John.
Yeah, and also claim they're not the official food pantry.
Because they are stupid political hacks. They don't care about truth. They don't care about delivering good services. They are a line item on your property tax bill, and you're getting screwed over by these people every which way. They suck. Let's just put it that way. They're bad actors. They're bad people. They're bad actors. And I know them, and I still say that because they're idiots. Nobody believes any of this stuff, and I'm pissed off.
I asked the Secretary of State to go take the license plates and charge them with fraudulent use of license plates.
Are they going to do it?
I use the website that they want people to report ICE for swapping out license.
Okay, I'm just going to do a little political hit here. You've got Aaron Del Mar running for lieutenant governor with Bailey, and he's out there touting his experience as the road commissioner. He actually controls 18.5 miles of road. That's it. Oh, he's really experienced. Is that all the road? Seriously, give it over to the county or the municipality. Get rid of these townships at this point. They are useless. Useless.
I agree. For the vast majority of them are useless, and especially, I mean, even ones that have the same boundaries as the city, like.
They have coterminous boundaries. I mean, actually, there's been a few where we've gotten rid of them. When I was a state rep, we got rid of, I think it was a Highland Park or Evanston. One of those two had coterminous boundaries.
Well, Bloomington's like that, too. They have a meeting, a township meeting, with a different chairman, and then turn right around and have a city meeting.
So stupid.
It makes no sense. It's just extra money that the public has to pay.
Yeah, no, now they all have those mental health boards so that they can screw over taxpayers more, take more money, and then mete it out to like nonprofits or other municipalities or national nonprofits like the YMCA and say that they're solving mental health, which they're not doing. They're not qualified to do it. It's just, I mean, you're just getting screwed. I don't even know how else to say it.
Exactly.
Too much government in this state.
On another topic, and this deals with police and police records, the Bolingbrook police officer that allegedly whipped out a firearm when he was off duty in a road rage incident.
Yeah, that doesn't go good.
We ended up suing the Bolingbrook. Bolingbrook gave us some of it and made way too many redactions and wouldn't provide the video. And we were told that the video shows that police officer using the N-word. Now, why is that important? Well, number one, it's racist to use the N-word. Number two, this guy's being looked at for promotion within the Bolingbrook Police Department.
That's a problem. So you got to be like really quick to get that stuff taken care of because you don't want him promoted.
Nope.
All right, that's the music. We are done for tonight. If you are looking for unique gifts, go to aviatorfuel.com. That's my son's business, my son and daughter-in-law's business, actually. Aviatorfuel.com. Find unique Christmas gifts. Thanks a lot for joining me tonight. We'll be back next week.
I've got to fax training updates, post 7 job ads, and edit a 700-page manual today.
There's a better way. Cornerstone Galaxy AI agents boost productivity by turning static content into smart conversations, personalizing learning, and handling admin tasks all in your workflow. Don't work like it's 1989. Work like it's now. Visit cornerstoneondemand.com to see how AI can help. Cornerstone's workforce development platform lets humans do what they do best, and AI do the rest. Visit cornerstoneondemand.com.